Hi, I'm going to make a quick video for Project 4 because it's probably one of the toughest ones we do. So if you can see here, I'm under Projects and Discussions for Module 3. I'm going to open the data for the projects and I'm going to open the actual project itself. So if I go here, what I'm going to do is we're not using GPA in this problem, so just ignore that. All you're going to use for this problem is age and credit hours, and where you're pulling it from is from the data set here. So let's look at it. So for the first question, it is doing a hypothesis test where it gives you a population mean and it gives you a population standard deviation. What it doesn't give you in the problem is the sample mean and the sample standard deviation. But for age, all you do is go here and get the data from here. And I've highlighted it in yellow on mine. So this tells you what data to use. So you can use that by finding the sample mean, sample standard deviation. We did that when we did calculator soup in the earlier modules. So you might want to go back to that. So for the first problem, it's either a Z or a T test. I'm not going to tell you which one, but there is something in the problem that gives you the guide. So you're going to do both hypotheses, null and alternative. Make sure to give them both. Population mean, sample size, and the test statistic. This is the value that is coming off that website that you need to give me. It's either going to be a T or a Z, and you need to give the exact value, and you need to give the p-value. Then from there, you're going to compare your p to your level of significance, and you need to tell me, did you reject or fail to reject? And then you need to conclude it in a complete sentence based on if the average age is 26. Okay, remember, this data is the age data, and it's coming from here. For problem 2, you're going to use credit hours. And you have the information in the problem, and then you need to get the sample mean and sample standard deviation. Again, if I go to my data set, it says here credit hours in green. That's what I need to do. So I need to find that information. Again, I got to do the hypothesis, the population mean, sample size, test statistic. Again, that's either a T or a Z, and you have to give the actual value, and then you need to give the actual p-value, how you reject or fail to reject the null, and then the class you need to conclude based on that statement. So 1 is either a Z or a T test, 2 is either a Z or a T test. For 3 and 4, they're confidence intervals. So here it says the president of GHC wants to know how many credit hours they take. He wants a range for the credit, and it says credit hours here. So for sample mean and sample standard deviation, you've already got that. You got it here. It's the same as question 2 as question 3 for the sample mean and sample standard deviation. So you don't need to do it again. So you solve that. You need to determine if it's a T interval or a Z interval based on a population standard deviation. For question 4, we're going back to ages, and that's what we did in the first one. So again, this is the yellow data set that I'm using from here. If I scroll over, I see it, or if I scroll up to the top, I see it. Okay, and again, you're looking at if there's a population standard deviation to determine a T or a Z interval. Here's a huge hint. If I go up and look here, they gave me a population standard deviation. I can use it down here. Okay, I hope this helps. Try your best. You can't do question 1 and 2 until you get all the way through T-test. And Z-test. So you have to get through the end of module 3 to understand all this material.